Did you know that 30% of Aussies own a smart speaker? That's higher per capita than the US. Hi, I'm Stuart from Connected, and today we're talking about building a smart home from scratch. But this isn't just any beginner's guide. We're focusing on what it's like building a smart home in Australia, where stuff's just that little bit different to the rest of the world. Truth is, it's not always easy knowing what tech products in general will be released in Australia, and ordering from overseas can be a bit of a minefield. There's the obvious, we have different power sockets, and sure, there's adapters, but if you get a faulty product, warranty repairs can be a genuine nightmare. Then there's just weird pitfalls like Philips Hue light globes bought in the US won't work here. And in Australia, our weather's different. It's much better. It's time we started talking about smart air conditioning, which is pretty awesome. So stick around for that. So let's jump in and smarten up our Aussie home. So it's 2020, the year where you can do absolutely nothing but stay at home. So let's make it a smart one. And when starting out, my recommendation is to ask yourself these three questions. Number one, what's the room in the house you use the most? Number two, what do you already own that you can easily make smart? And number three, where is adding a smart device going to make the biggest impact on your life? Let me give you an example. I personally hate mornings. So my first smart home purchase was a Google Home Mini and two Philips Hue bulbs that fit into my existing bedside lamps. When I set my alarm with the Mini, Philips Hue knew to fade up 30 minutes before my alarm went off, which slowly got me ready for that alarm, which I still hated, but I didn't snooze it quite as much. What's meaningful for you will definitely be different to me. So when starting out, give some thought to those three questions. Now, the fun stuff. The first and most popular thing most people start out with is a smart speaker. And that's because they're often the simplest and easiest way to start building out a smart home. When buying a smart speaker, it's important to know which smart assistant is built in. There are more, but the three most popular are Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, and Apple Siri. Which one you should pick is a very personal choice. Sound out your favorites in the comments below. In the US, Alexa is by far the most popular. They got into the market first in 2014. In Australia, it's a completely different story. Google got into Australia faster and had the assistant learn Aussie slang almost immediately. They did some clever things like you can ask Assistant how to spell Woolloomooloo and it'll even pronounce it correctly. So does that mean you should throw everything at Google? Not necessarily. You should take them all for a test spin, focus on how well they understand your voice, your accent, and what the quality of the response is like.
Hey Google, show me some lemon cake recipes.
And also think about what you already own. Is your TV an Android TV? Do you own a Google Chromecast or an Amazon Fire TV stick? Do your existing speakers have Google Assistant or Alexa hiding in there somewhere and you just haven't activated it? A lot of it will come down to whether you're after a screen to display your information or if you're just after a speaker to give commands to run your smart home. But if you like the thought of a display, there are great options like the Google Home Hub Max, which doubles as a security camera. The smaller Nest Hub is also great if you don't need the camera and want something a little bit more bedside table friendly. Amazon have a range of Echo Show devices as well, and there's even smart bedside clocks. Display or no display, the voice assistant you've chosen is the same, but with a display you'll see the assistant dictating the command as you ask it, as well as visual feedback once it's done. Now the smart bit in smart home is when you start integrating other smart products in. And the best place to start is smart lighting, for three main reasons. One, we use them a lot. Two, they're the place you'll save the most in electricity costs. The most energy efficient light bulbs use LED technology and smart bulbs are almost always LED. And number three, the options are endless, but choose wisely. I've used most brands, but keep coming back to Philips Hue. They really pioneered smart lighting and have a big presence in Australia. There's something else equally important. You know those software updates you always hate doing on your phone? They're extra important with smart home tech because if you're installing a light that will live in your house for up to 15 years, you want to be sure that the manufacturer is going to support you with security updates over that time. Philips Hue have done a great job of this. A Hue starter kit is a good place to start. There are a ton of configurations, but will likely include a few bulbs and a little box you connect into your router called a Hue hub. Now, being for or against hubs could be its own video, but here's my opinion. Philips Hue want you to use this little box because that means all of your lights connect back to one point instead of having every single light in your house fighting for their own Wi-Fi connection. And it works. Hue bulbs are known for their quick response time and reliability, and the hub has a big part to play in all of that. But there are, of course, other very good smart light alternatives. In particular, LIFX, a company founded by the Australian inventor Phil Bosua. These guys are super innovative and impressive. But beyond that, start to tread carefully or have a chat to an expert. In particular, ask yourself if this cheap $10 smart bulb is going to continue to get future software updates, and do some reviews online to check how reliable they are. Smart security is the fastest growing part of the smart home market, covering cameras, door and window sensors, motion sensors, door locks, garage door openers, indoor and outdoor surveillance cameras, siren smoke detectors, water sensors, and way more. More than we could ever focus on in this video. We're just going to focus on cameras, but hit me up in the comments below if you want me to do a smart home security video. These days, smart home security cameras like the Nest Cam IQ Outdoor can record video up to 4K resolution and store it safely and securely in the cloud so you can get to it 24/7. It has a high power infrared LED for night vision, as well as lights and speakers, so you can really show an intruder you're serious. The number one thing to remember is that most smart security brands work better together, so pick that first one or two wisely. Also look closely at how they'll work with Google Assistant or Alexa. Google's Nest products and Amazon's Ring products are great places to start looking, and unsurprisingly work great with their voice assistants, but they're not at the cheap end. The basic gist is that when your smart camera sees something unusual, you'll get a notification on your phone and you can click on that to then see live status, often a video. And while the big players have some impressive products, home security also doesn't have to cost a fortune. And finally, it wouldn't be an Aussie smart home if your aircon wasn't smart. Hey Google, turn on the aircon.
Okay, turning aircon on.
If you're buying new, most come with the ability to connect them directly into Google Home or Amazon Alexa. But if you've got an existing system installed and it's got a remote, then all you need is this guy. This is SENSIBO. He records the commands from your existing aircon remote and replicates them when you ask your voice assistant. It's literally as simple as, hey Google, turn on the aircon. Or another one I use a fair bit, hey Google, what's the temperature inside? And if I've forgotten to turn the aircon off before leaving the house, SENSIBO does it for me. An awesome energy saving feature. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, click on that little notification bell, do all the things that YouTube wants you to do, and let me know what else you'd like me to cover. I put my website and some links below to some of the products I've talked about, and let's make 2020 that little bit more enjoyable through smart tech.